there, I'm Jill Allen, and this is Find Your Fierce, the show designed for women to discover your fierce, unlock an unstoppable mindset, build unbreakable courage, and completely transform how you show up every single day. Each week, I will bring ideas, methods, and strategies that will inspire you to step into your greatness and live life on purpose. Let's be fit, fierce, and unstoppable. Hey there, gang. Welcome to Find Your Fierce. So glad that you are here with me as we continue the series Beyond Great. And in this series, we are diving into a bunch of things that the Lord has placed on my heart for me to share with you in hopes to propel you into what God is asking you to do, what He's calling you to do, and who to become, to help you unleash all the untapped potential you have been holding back from the world, and to help you peel back some layers as you reflect and take on your own faith journey. So we've got a lot of things going on here today. I can't wait, and it's going to be so good. But before we go any further, I have to say that I love that you are here listening in, spending time with us each week. So honored that I get to be a part of your day. You are just so amazing. And I have to thank you for all your love and support as always. I appreciate your feedback, your reviews, and I love that you share this podcast and the Set Free message with your friends and family. So if you could keep on doing that, that would be pretty amazing, because you are helping this movement as it helps reach more women and it impacts more lives. And that is certainly what life is all about. So thank you so much. Okay, so let's dive in. Whatever you are going through right now, yes, this present mess or stress, I want you to understand that God is using it to prepare you for the role that you will play in the future. You are being strengthened and refined today for tomorrow, full of purpose, and we can make it through most anything if we know it's for a purpose. If we know the path is taking us somewhere good, we can stick with it. It's when we lose faith in the destination that we wander off path and get stuck. God has a plan for us, guys. I mean, He has a destination in mind for our life, and it's a purpose that is a perfect fit for us in every way. A future that uses our every talent and every experience, making us this absolute ideal person for the job. Think about that. No one else will be able to do this like you. And maybe we don't see that future yet. And I know I feel that way quite often, right? But maybe God hasn't revealed His plans to us. But will we still trust Him? Will you still trust that He has a plan, that it's a good plan, that you haven't screwed up the plan, that you haven't missed out on the plan, and everything you're going through right now is simply preparing you better for that plan? Does that make you feel any better? Do you like that flip of the script? You've been trying to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders, all while God has been saying, hey, excuse me, right? Over here, honey, if you will just turn that over to me, the whole world fits perfectly in the palm of my hand. Will you look my way? Guys, we have 5 kids, 4 teens, 1 tween, and those kids are full of potential, right? As are yours. Potential to change the world, or potential to ruin and mess it all up. Guys, if you are raising teens, and you know exactly what I'm talking about, there's this whole lot of potential for good and bad wrapped up inside our teens who are wrestling to figure out who they are in the world. There are days where I know I see all of them becoming who they've always been created to be. And to be completely honest, we might as well throw ourselves in that mix, as well, as I know a lot of us are also wrestling to figure out who we are in this world too. When our oldest, when he moved out on his own, states away, and let me be real clear, I mean, the only way the good potential won out over the bad potential was hardship. We went through the hardest struggle and training of our life that summer. I know he wanted his independence, and yet we naturally wanted to hold on. But when he left, he had 0 comforts from home. He had no mom to protect him. And Rob wasn't there telling him what to do. I mean, our little boy, who now is a young man, moved out on his own. It's like, talk about real life training. The new pressures, the expectations, all the stresses, the challenges, the mess of the unknowns. I mean, I truly believe a lot of all of that is what helped all of who he is becoming right now. I'm convinced if he would have stayed home, hanging out in the comfort zone, not venturing out, he wouldn't be half the man he is today. I mean, he was made to be strengthened in the struggle and to be refined in the fire. And so were we. You see, we want change while we want everything else to stay the same. That's kind of funny, right? Life simply doesn't work that way. Just as our kids are unable to thrive sitting in our basements playing video games, you can't become the woman God created you to be living in comfort. Comfortable living leads to unmet potential. Comfortable living leads to drifting. Comfortable living leads to the bad outweighing the good. Comfortable living leads to boredom. And it's in the boredom we make bad choices and settle for bad lives. Comfortable living leads to future disappointment, where you wake up one day miserable in a life you don't like, looking in the mirror at a person you no longer recognize without the energy to do anything about it. And your Creator loves you so much that He just won't let you sit there in comfort to waste away. Guys, this is firing me up. This is why He has shaken up your world. Perhaps this is why He has allowed your current disaster to interrupt your life, to get you out of survival mode, to stop you from living in a fog. It's so that you don't miss the life available to you. It's so that you are prepared for the role you're going to play in the future. It's a stepping stone. Guys, there is a warrior inside of each one of us, and that warrior simply couldn't come out with the way things used to be. The life you really want isn't easy. It's fulfilling. Fulfilling lives are filled with risk and rewards, hardship, happiness, struggle, and success, battles and victory. The fulfilling life that you are seeking, that I am seeking as well, isn't found in the safe protection of our comfort zone. I hope that we began to tear down those walls that we talked about on last week's episode. I encourage you to step out, be that warrior, to begin the training for a life that you've been created for. And I get it, it's not going to be easy. It won't be easy, but it's all going to be worth it. And talking about warrior training, Genesis 50, verse 20 says, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives." Romans 8:28 says, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose." That's one of my favorite verses of all time. In our training, in preparation for our battle, we need a spirit that refuses to give up. A steadfast spirit, a spirit that believes God is doing something in the middle of this mess, and it's part of your training to live a better life. The Message translation says it like this: "God, make a fresh start in me. Shape a Genesis week from the chaos of my life." Genesis represents the beginning of all things. God, please give us a week that will be the beginning of something new in our lives. Make that fresh start begin right inside of me. So here's our choice today. As things are harder than maybe expected, as things take longer than maybe you anticipated, as you are faced with tough decisions and stressful circumstances, you have a choice. You can either get bitter or you can get better. Every day is like a training day. The best warriors always choose to get better. The ones who choose to get better rise to the top. They excel, and this is why it's hard. It's part of the training. They're separating the masses to find the ones who will get better. Will that be you? Will you take your current circumstances and choose to let them make you better? Will you take what has the potential of making you bitter and insist that you will rise above and become better because of it? You will have every right to complain about what is happening, what has happened. You will have every right to tell your sob story to anyone who will listen. You could put that victim label on and wear your pain for the rest of your days. You could wear that badge of honor. You could do that. And that's your reward. That's where it ends. All your God-given potential stops right there. How sad would it be to one day stand before your Creator and hear Him say, "I allowed this to touch your life because I knew it would make you better. I wanted to use it to strengthen you for an important role I had in mind for you, but you didn't use it. You didn't see what I was doing. You didn't get better. You became bitter." Don't let that be you, ladies. Shake off any layers of bitterness that you may have been piling on. And let's just acknowledge it right here, right now. What happened to you wasn't fair, isn't fair. It wasn't right, isn't right. You didn't deserve that, and you don't deserve that. It shouldn't have happened. It was wrong. And now, can we leave it here? Can we leave it right here? Can we lay it down? Will you refuse to pick it back up again? Will you decide from this day forward what has happened or what is happening to you right now will make you better, not bitter? Open your eyes wide right now to see how God is using every ounce of harm the enemy intended in your life for good right now. Nothing is wasted with our God, not when you refuse to get bitter. Let's just say this is your warrior training. God is changing our life and preparing us for future roles. That process isn't always pretty and certainly isn't easy, but doesn't it make it more tolerable knowing everything is for a purpose? It's like game on. You're in training for a dynamic role in your future. You're being strengthened and refined for something worth living for. You'll get there. You and me both. You'll step into your God-given destiny if you refuse to get bitter and choose to get better. Get fired up. And if you are wanting even more fire in your day, follow me on Instagram or join us for the Just Breathe small group. It's a 12-month faith-filled mindset and accountability experience, or even our next retreat. We have been all over the place on epic adventures that allow us to step outside our comfort zone. So be sure to go to JillAllenCoaching.com for all the updates or join the Just Breathe Facebook group. We would love to have you join us in Glacier or in St. Thomas this year. Heads up on the next episode. We are continuing the Beyond Great series for that fresh start, so be sure to pop back in next week. Thanks so much for joining us today, and I pray that we filled your heart with joy. And if you could let us know before hopping off here today, that would be incredible. Subscribe, share this episode link on your social media if you felt encouraged or inspired, as we all know someone that can benefit, and I would love it if you would give some feedback and a review as well. Talk with you next time. Be fit, be fierce, be unstoppable. See ya.
This is thepodcastfactory.com.